Good morning and welcome. So as you can see by my headset here, we're trying a microphoned version to see if this works a little better, gives you guys a little more volume. Bear with me, I am not what you would call tech savvy, so we're hoping this works. We've done some test runs and we should be good. However, that may mean that I'm moving and adjusting things, so I apologize in advance. For today, this is a gentle class, so there will be some movement, some muscle work, but it's going to be softer and a little slower. Make sure you have 1 or 2 blankets or beach towels and 2 blocks for sure. If you don't have those, put me on pause, go ahead and grab them. And welcome back. So we're going to go ahead and start laying down on our back. Make sure you have a comfortable position. If you'd like, we're not going to be here horrifically long, but if you want to make this a little comfier, you can always roll up a blanket or a beach towel and throw that under your neck. Coming down to any comfortable position. If you do not like having your legs extended out in front of you, bend into your knees, take your feet flat and walk them out just slightly wider than your hips so your knees fall towards each other. Take a big, huge, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale, and sigh it out. Again, big breath in through your nose. Exhale and release. One more time. Big, ginormous breath in through your nose. Feeling everything lift and expand. Pause at the top. Open your mouth and exhale. Allowing your body to let go of anything and everything happening outside of this moment. Becoming present. Take a moment and scan your body. What are you feeling? Where are you feeling it? How are you doing today? This is more than just physical. So yeah, you want to take note of any aches or pains, but you also want to notice how your energy level is. How's your mood? Did it take everything you had just to show up on the mat this morning? If it did, that's okay. Honor your body where it is. Start to relax the forehead. That little space between your eyes. Separate your teeth. Allow your tongue to fall to the bottom of your mouth. Feeling that one movement, relax the cheeks, the jaw, even down into the neck. Your neck is long, perhaps supported by a blanket, maybe not. Either way, the shoulders are relaxed. Make sure they're not pulling away from the mat or shrugged up by your ears. Perhaps lifting your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and tuck them beneath you, then relax down onto them, feeling that release your back. Hips and low back are heavy, sinking toward the floor. Taking this moment to really connect with yourself. Start to turn inward. Where's your mind? Studies have shown it takes us about 20 minutes to become truly present in anything we're doing. In a short class like today, that's almost halfway through. See if you can speed that process along, bringing the mind into focus, finding that connection. If your mind is jumping around like a squirrel, give it something to focus on. You can use a picture, an image, a color, maybe a sound or a word. Possibly just focusing in on your breath and the words inhale, exhale. Allowing these next moments to just drift. concentrating on that focal point, your drishti. Perhaps you've gotten down here this morning and decided that this is exactly what you need. This is yoga. Yoga is just union. It means to yoke, to connect the mind, the body, and the breath. If you are lying here and you wish to continue for the next 45 minutes, go ahead. Take this time for you. Honor your body with what it needs today. If, however, you are ready for more movement, begin to take a deeper inhale. Open mouth exhale and sigh it out. On your next inhale, begin to bend into your knees, taking the feet flat on the floor. Walk those feet out until they are mat distance apart. Take the arms out wide at shoulder height. Drop those knees side to side, moving like windshield wipers. Let this feel good. You should feel a release to your low back, perhaps a gentle stretch in your hips. One more time to each side. Bringing the knees back to center, walk them in till they're hip bone distance apart. Pull your knees into your chest, giving them a little squeeze. You can stay here, you can roll side to side, whatever feels better for you. Keeping that right knee pulled in, extend the left leg straight all the way down to the floor. Right hand to right knee, your left hand comes to your left hip or perhaps out at shoulder height as you open your knee to the right. You can stay here in stillness. If you'd like, start to make circles with that knee. If you are making circles, reverse, taking it the other way, just finding some gentle movement. The hip is a ball and socket joint. Sometimes it wants to move as opposed to just being still. On your next inhale, bring that knee back to center, switching hands. Right arm comes out at shoulder height as you take the knee across your body, finding a twist. This is for your spine. This should feel lovely. If this is morning for you, it is for us here. If it's morning for you as you're doing this video, perhaps you start to get that snap, crackle, and pop down the spine. Let that feel yummy. And release that back to center, pulling both knees in, giving them a little squeeze. Switching sides, left knee stays in, right leg extends all the way down to the floor. Left hand to left knee, opening it to the side, finding stillness if you'd like, or making circles if you prefer. Reversing those circles, moving the opposite direction. Sorry guys, I have dogs. This is filming a live class, so you get what you get. I apologize. Inhale, bring that knee back to center. Switching hands, right hand to left knee, left arm out at shoulder height as you take the knee across your body, finding your twist on this side. Breathing into that twist, finding length on every inhale, letting the knees sink a little deeper into the twist on the exhale. And inhale back to center, pulling both knees in, giving them a little squeeze. Lower your feet down to the floor, knees are bent, feet are right in front of you. Bring your hands down right beside those hips. Crossing the right leg over the left, then slide it open, bringing the right ankle onto the left knee as you make a figure 4 shape with your right leg. You can stay here, or perhaps start to come up onto those left tippy toes. Check in with your knee. Make sure your right knee is happy, the right hip is happy. We are looking for a stretch into the right side of the booty. So when you're ready, start to draw that left knee in toward the chest using just the muscles. Core starts to activate. Belly pulls flat against the mat. Belly pulls into the spine. Back is flat against the mat. See, I know what I'm talking about. Draw that knee in a little closer. Press your right knee open a little more, using just muscle engagement, feeling the hip flexors working. How you doing? And draw that knee in a little closer. Press the right knee open a little further. You might feel your core working. Core is super important, but not the kind that gives us necessarily six-pack abs. We focus on the core that keeps us stable and strong and holds our spine in alignment. The good kind. One more time, pull that left knee in a little closer. Right knee presses open a tiny bit more. I'm doing it too. I can feel this. Lift your hands, holding on behind your left thigh. Draw it in, releasing the core a little bit and instead finding a deeper stretch on that right glute. If your hips are tight, you probably feel this a lot. Hips can get tight from sitting, standing, walking, hiking, running, biking, squats, so pretty much everything. So it's good to loosen them up every now and then. Slow and controlled, release that leg, bringing the left foot back down to the floor. Keep your legs as they are. Walk your left foot all the way to the left side of the mat and slowly drop those knees to the right. We're back to our windshield wipers, but we're holding here. If this is not comfortable for you, you can lift that right foot off and just take it to the right side of the mat, finding the two-legged version as opposed to having that foot stacked on the knee. Increasing the stretch into the left hip flexor. This should feel kind of good. Do not let this be painful. Nothing in yoga should ever hurt. One more breath here. Slowly release that right foot off of your leg if it's still there, bringing both knees back to center. Walk those feet in until they are hip bone distance apart and switch sides. Hands come right back down beside your hips. Left leg crosses over and then slides open left ankle onto that right knee. Make sure the knee is happy, the hip is happy, coming onto the right tippy toes. And then draw that belly button into the spine, back presses flat as you pull your right knee towards you. Muscle engagement. Everything is working. Your feet are active here, so we don't have relaxed toes. Doesn't matter whether you flex at the ankle and draw the toes back, or if you use that Barbie foot where you're pushing through the ball of your foot and drawing the toes towards you. You're just finding engagement in those feet. This is to protect the knees. This is not an aesthetic thing. Draw that right knee in a little closer. Press the left knee out a little more. Take a moment and focus on your breath. Are you still breathing? When we pull our core in, we tend to start taking shallower breaths. Make sure these are nice and deep. Big, huge breaths in. And exhale, releasing any tension as we draw that right knee in a little closer. Press the left knee open a little more. Taking those hands up, holding on behind that right thigh, releasing the core work slightly as you draw that knee in for a nice deep stretch. One more breath here. Slowly begin to release that leg, lowering the right foot down. Keep the legs as they are. Walk the right foot all the way out to the right side of the mat and drop those knees to the left. Finding your stretch on this side. Make sure the knee is happy. If it's not, just uncross that left foot. Feeling the stretch through the right hip flexor. Release that left foot. Inhale, both knees back to center. Walk those feet in till they're hip bone distance apart. Pull your knees into your chest, giving them a squeeze. And when you're ready, you can either roll onto your side and press up, or you can rock your way up to seated, or if you'd like a little more challenge, Holding on behind those thighs, start to draw that belly button into the spine, finding the engagement here. And then as we rock up, you're going to try to prevent your toes from touching. So perhaps squeeze those knees in and bring that body up and hold. You can stay here again if you'd like more challenge. Release those arms toward the middle of the room. Core is pulling in. Back is nice and straight. And lower those feet down, coming to any comfortable seated position. You good? Okay. I have someone here with me today that's newer to yoga, so we're just checking in. Sitting up nice and tall. Palms come to your knees. Inhale, sweep that heart forward, lengthening through the front of the body. Exhale, belly button pulls in as you round into your back, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, heart sweeps forward, chin and chest lift. Exhale, belly button pulls in. One more time, heart sweeps forward. And exhale, really rounding into the back as you pull away, stretching through the shoulders. Coming back up to center, release those hands down beside you. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, chin to chest. Inhale, hands back through center. Exhale, lower the hands behind your head and neck, stretching into the back of the arms. Core is still pulled in tight here. Inhale, hands back up. Exhale, hands to heart center, chin to chest. Inhale, hands up to the sky. Exhale, lowering the hands behind the head and neck, focusing on keeping that core pulled in. Just moving the arms, opening the shoulders. Inhale, hands back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release those arms down beside you and roll out those shoulders. Lean back, switch the cross of your legs so the opposite leg is in front, coming back to your comfortable seat. Pull your core in nice and tight. We're going to take a twist, but rather than just using your hands as leverage, we're going to start to use the core for the twist work. So right hand to your left leg, but let it rest gently on the thigh. Taking your left arm behind you, you can touch the floor, but you don't want to push, or maybe even just wrap that arm behind your back for the bind. Draw the belly button in. Start to twist the body to the right, to the left on an exhale. Using just the core here. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, twist a little deeper. One more time, inhale, get longer. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Now keeping that core engagement, go ahead and take your right hand to the outside of the left leg. Bring your left hand down to the floor behind you. Core is still active and working to twist your body as you inhale taller. And exhale, this time use the leverage, twisting a little deeper. One more full breath here. And release that back to center. Unwind for just a moment. Take a breath in neutral. And switch sides. Left hand to the right leg, but again, resting gently. Right arm comes either to the floor behind you or wrapping behind the back. Pull the belly button into the spine and engage the abdominal muscles as you twist your body to the right. Inhale, sitting up taller. Exhale, twisting deeper. Inhale, a little taller. Exhale, a little more twist. Place that left hand on the outside of your right leg. Bring your right hand down to the floor behind you. Lengthen on the inhale. And exhale, using the engagement as well as the pressure on the hands, start to push the body open a little further, taking that twist just a little deeper. It's easy to use the hands as leverage. It's important that we focus on keeping that core active while we use that leverage. So it's not just one, it's both. And release that back to center. You can either roll over your ankles or swing those legs around. We're going to come onto hands and knees. Take a minute here and grab a blanket or a beach towel, anything that's just a couple inches thick, adding some padding. Sliding that under your knees. And then we come to a hands and knees position. Shoulders are directly over the wrists, knees are directly under the hips. If you take a look back, you should not be able to see your feet. They should be hiding directly behind those knees. Even here, your core is drawing in. So we have a tendency to come to this position and sink. We let the belly collapse. That puts a giant sway in your back. You want to keep everything drawn in so the spine is in one straight line. Pick up your left knee, shifting it towards the right, just so it's a little more centered under the body. I do this for balance. If you try this and this does not feel more stable for you, take it back out so it's under that hip. There's no right or wrong. This is just to find the position that makes you feel a little more balanced. As we extend that right foot back, tuck the toes, pushing back, stretching through the calf. This should feel good. This is just a nice little stretch. This is not the work part yet. One more breath here. Inhale, shift the shoulders forward so they're back over the wrist. Pull that belly button in nice and tight and lift that right leg. Make sure you're not opening the hip to the side. Toes are pointing down, hips are facing the floor. Belly pulls in. You can stay here or perhaps extend that left arm out, reaching out across the room to shake hands with your neighbor. And holding in this long line, belly is drawn in. You're using the right hand to push the mat away. So again, we're not sinking. You want to keep everything active. On your next exhale, draw knee to elbow, meeting beneath your belly. Belly button pulls in as you find your crunch. Inhale, extend long. Balance is tricky here. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extending long once again. Lower your left hand back down to the floor. Core pulls in, body is in one line, and you bend into that right leg, reaching the heel to the ceiling. Feeling your glute and your hamstrings engage. Lower that right knee toward the left without letting it touch down, and then open it to the side for a little doggy on a fire hydrant here. Knee drops down, does not touch the blanket, heel to ceiling. Lowering that knee down, open it out to the right. Knee lowers down. One more time, heel to ceiling. Lowering the knee again, and one last time out to the right. Lower the knee this time all the way down, toes touch. Pressing back for a child's pose, taking the knees as wide as they need to be comfortable for you. Reaching those arms forward, forehead comes toward the floor. Regaining your breath. We have a tendency when we balance to hold our breath. Everybody does it. So if you've lost your breath, take that big deep inhale. And exhale, release. Finding that nice neutral. When you're ready, that's not good. Something went snap. Hold on a second. Let me see what went snap. Again, sorry. Tech challenged over here. Okay, that's better. Let's try that again. Coming onto hands and knees, shoulders directly over the wrists, knees directly under the hips, finding neutral first, pulling that belly button in. Now shift your right knee toward the left, centering it under the body if that works for you to make you more stable. Extend the left leg back. Tuck your toes, press back through that heel. This should just feel yummy. This is a calf stretch. You good? Okay. Oh, yeah, mouth squeak. I don't think you guys can hear her with the mic on me, but there is a person in here that I'm talking to. I have not just lost my mind, I promise. Shifting forward, shoulders over the wrists, pull the belly button in, lift your left leg. Toes are pointing down, hips are neutral. Everything is in one straight line. You can stay here or perhaps lift that right hand to reach out. Shaking hands with your neighbor as we hold in a spinal balance. Core drawn in tight, pushing into the left hand. Exhale, knee to elbow. Pull the belly button in as you find that crunch. Inhale, extending long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend it out and hold. Place that right hand back down. Keep the left leg long, bend into the knee, reach the heel to the ceiling. Core is drawn in tight. You want to make sure you're not sinking into an arch here. Lower that left knee toward the right and then open it out to the left. Lower the left knee down, heel to ceiling. Finding that movement, focusing on keeping the body as stable as possible. Lower the left knee down, open it to the left. One more time each direction, lowering that left knee down, heel to the ceiling. Lowering it down one more time, opening it to the left. Bring that knee down, toes come together. Take the knees out a little wider and press the hips back, coming into a wide leg child's pose. Finding your stretch here, anything that feels good. Perhaps walking those fingertips way out and getting a shoulder stretch. If that does not feel good for you, you can always bring the hands down beside the hips. One more big, huge breath here. Start to pull through the palms, coming back up to hands and knees, walking those knees in toward midline so that the knees are directly under the hips, shoulders are directly over the wrists. Pulling everything in nice and tight, pick your left foot up and take it off the left side of the mat. Shift all the weight onto that left palm, extend that right leg behind you. Take a look and make sure your shoulder is directly over your left wrist, so this arm is in one straight line. Right foot is flat and sideways. Right arm can either reach up straight, or perhaps you play a big old air guitar, sweeping it into the center of the room. Looking for length through the right side body. If this is a lot of pressure on your left shoulder, or you just don't feel like you're straight, if you have shorter arms, that could be the case. You can always grab a block, placing it under that left hand, and lifting the body so you have a cleaner line coming through the right side. We are looking for that nice energetic length from the outside of the right foot, pressing against the mat, drawing that energy up the entire right leg, through your right side body, and sweeping it up and overhead out through the fingertips. One straight line. One more breath here. Drawing the belly button in, using the core, bring the body up. Coming into your gate pose. Still pushing through the outside of the right foot. Arms are long. Focusing here. So everyone says, core work. Crunches are great. I'm not trash talking them. They're fabulous. But in yoga, the focus is on the core in every pose. Draw the core in here, keeping the spine stable and the body straight up and down, stacked over those legs. Drop the right arm down, left arm reaches up and over, lengthening through the left side body. Perhaps turning to look up under that left arm, if that's available to you. If anything ever bothers your shoulders, just bring the hand down to the hip. And inhale, bringing those hands back parallel to the floor. Lower the left hand onto the block. Right arm comes up and over, pulling the right knee in as you twist the left foot back behind the left knee. We are going to switch sides. I will turn around. Keeping your block handy if you need it. Starting in neutral, shoulders over the wrists, knees directly under the hips. Pick your right foot up, take it off the right side of the mat. Rolling over onto that right hand, shoulder stacked over the wrist as you extend the left leg behind you. Perhaps lining your block up under your hand. Left arm comes to the sky, or the hip if that's more comfortable. Or you can also play that giant air guitar, sweeping it into the middle, reaching up overhead. Finding that length through the entire left side body. It's an energetic line. You should feel the energy coming all the way through you and out those fingertips. Holding here for one more breath. Everything's active, so you're not just sinking into that left leg. You're pushing the left leg. The back of the left foot is flat against the mat. Reaching long. Drawing up onto those fingertips, take that left arm up and overhead. Rising up for our gate pose. Core is drawn in, body is straight. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up and over, finding length this time through the right side body. Maybe turn the head to look up under that left arm. That's the right arm, it's your right arm. And release that, taking the arms parallel. Bring the right hand back down, left arm comes up and over as you draw that left knee forward, swinging the right foot around until you are back to your hands and knees position. Set your block aside. Shoulders directly over the wrists, drop the belly, lift the chest, lengthening the front of the body. So the focus here is not on how much you can arch. Instead, push the floor away and focus on lifting and lengthening the chest. Exhale. Tucking the tailbone under, rounding your back as you push the mat away. Inhale. Belly does drop, but you're pushing the mat away here, lengthening through the front body as you lift the chin. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, pulling the belly underneath. Inhale, lifting and lengthening the front body. And exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding into that back. Coming back to neutral. So this one's going to be kind of funny. I'm going to turn forward so you can see what we're doing here. You're going to take your right leg out to the side and then walk the foot around. Bringing the right foot in between the hands. So the foot is still, try that one more time. The knee is still on the blanket. Your right foot is directly between your hands. From there, I'm going to turn sideways again so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Pick your left foot up and take it across the mat so it's coming off the right side of the mat. Not the way we had it before, so it's not coming out to the left. You want to take it all the way across. Perfect. Belly button pulls in. Rising up for a warrior two. So I like this knee variation of a warrior two. In warrior two, when we're standing, the only thing we can focus on is, wow, my thigh burns. That's all you feel. When you come onto the knees like this, you can feel what the primary focus is. Warrior two is a hip opener. You should be feeling stretch through the left hip flexor area. Turn your body sideways. So your knee stays where it is, turn that way. Yes. Reaching out long, bringing your arm over your knee. Your right arm is over your right knee. Left arm is behind you. Torso sideways. Perfect. That is awesome. So you should feel a stretch into that left hip flexor. Kind of. It's starting. So it's a gentle hip opener. Start to draw the knees toward each other. The knee and the heel toward each other. Feeling the squeeze and activation on the inner thighs. Was that weird? So this is the engagement in a warrior two, whether you're on your knees or standing. Everything is still working. We're not just letting that thigh burn. Other stuff is happening. Bring the left arm down, right arm reaches up and over, shifting the hips forward just an inch or so as you lengthen again through that right side body, looking up underneath the right arm. Core is active and drawing in, protecting that spine. And bring those arms back to warrior two. Swing the hands down to frame the front foot. Lift your left foot up and bring it back behind the left knee. So we're back to a lunge position. Grab your blocks, and since I'm moving around, mine are not where they should be. Hopefully yours are somewhere near the front of your mat. Grabbing the blocks, start to sink the hips toward the floor, rising up onto your fingertips. So normally we say, don't let your knee come past your ankle. Since we don't really have a lot of weight on that leg, it can come past the ankle. However, if you find that your knee's way up here, shift back, walk that right foot forward so that it's a little closer to stacked as you sink those hips. One more breath here. Taking your blocks with you, shift your hips back, stopping when your left hip is directly above the left knee. Walking the blocks back so they're under the shoulders. Scoot your right foot way forward until you can take the leg straight or straight-ish, drawing the toes back towards your face. Inhale, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, hinge from those hips, and perhaps start to fold over that straight leg. So let's talk about block height here. I have very short arms. So for me to keep my back nice and straight, I need blocks. This is what keeps my back straight. I can come down to the floor all day long, but I start to round into my spine. So what you're looking for is the position where your back is straight and your hands are on fingertips and active. If you can bring your palms down and keep that back flat, lower the blocks a level. And when you're ready, folding over that straight leg, keeping the back straight, finding the hamstring stretch. Inhale, rising up onto those fingertips. Start to scoot that right foot back, bending into that front knee. Set your blocks aside. I'm going to spin mine back around because they're going to be on the other side here in just a moment. And then take the right hand inside the right foot as you walk the right foot off the side of the mat, bringing it back onto hands and knees. And I'm going to turn around again. So, finding your neutral position once again, shoulders over the wrists. Time-wise, we're doing okay. Yep, this is our last move and we cool down. You guys are lucky, we're heading to Shavasana soon. Drawing everything in. Take your left foot off the side of the mat. Walk it into the middle so that you have a foot between your hands. However you get it there, it doesn't have to be graceful. Pick your right foot up, taking it across the mat so it comes off the left side of the mat. Pull the belly button in and rise up for our warrior two. Body is stacked on top of the hips. Left knee is over the left ankle. Core pulls in, reaching out long, looking out over the left middle finger. Holding here, start to draw the heel and the knee toward each other, squeezing those inner thighs, feeling that activity there. You're like, things are happening. That's good. Holding here for one more breath, feeling the stretch into that right hip flexor as you open up. Lowering the right hand down, left arm reaches up and over, lengthening through the left side body. One more breath. Foot and knee are still drawing toward each other. That's going to make you more stable as well when the muscles are active and working. Bringing those arms parallel to the floor. Bring them down to frame the front foot. Pick up your right foot. Swing it until it's back behind the right knee and grab those blocks. Shifting the weight forward as you sink the hips toward the floor, rising up onto the fingertips. Feeling that stretch. One more breath. Start to lift those hips, shifting the weight back, stopping when the right hip is above the right knee. Scoot the left foot forward as you walk those blocks back till the hands are under the shoulders. Draw your toes back towards your face, finding the block height that works to keep your back nice and flat as you're on your fingertips. If you need more stretch as you exhale, hinge from those hips and forward fold. Taking a big deep breath here. Inhale, rising up onto those fingertips. Draw that left foot back, bending into the knee. Place your blocks aside. Walk that left foot out to the side, taking it all the way around until you come back to hands and knees. And just because it feels good, from your hands and knees, walk the hands forward 2 or 3 inches till the arms are at an angle. Make sure your knees are under your hips and toes are hiding behind those knees. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, pressing your chest back towards your thighs, releasing your heels toward the mat, bending into one knee and then the other as you move through a down dog. Let this feel yummy. This is just a stretch. Head should be nice and loose. On your next inhale, bring those knees back down onto the mat. Cross your ankles, rolling over those feet. Coming to a seated position, slide your blanket out of the way. Make sure you have a clear space behind you. We're coming down onto our backs. Keep that core drawn in nice and tight. Reaching those arms forward, slowly start to lower yourself down toward the mat. If at any point you feel like you're going to do a thump and fall down onto your back, hold on behind the thighs. Control is more important than keeping the arms extended. Belly is still drawn in as we roll down 1 vertebra at a time, taking it slow, keeping control of this movement. Last tiny little bit of core work as we bring our body down onto the mat and extend your legs out in front of you. Take a breath here. Bend into those knees, taking the feet flat on the floor. Arms come out wide at shoulder height. Cross the right leg over the left, squeezing those thighs together this time, so no figure 4s. Shift your hips to the right. Let your knees fall to the left, finding a twist. This should be yummy and delicious. If it's not for any reason, try uncrossing the legs and stack the knees. See if that feels better for your body. You can stay as you are, or perhaps turn your head and look out over the right shoulder. Taking big, deep inhales, lengthening on the inhale as you exhale, sinking a little deeper into the twist. Inhale, bring those knees back to center. Uncross the legs. Shift the hips to neutral. Switching sides, left leg over right, hips to the left, knees to the right, finding your twist on this side. Maybe turn your head and look out over the left shoulder. Inhale, bringing your knees back to center. Uncross the legs. Shift the hips to neutral. Pull your knees into your chest, giving them one little squeeze. When you're ready, set up for your Shavasana. That can be anything that's comfortable for you. We have the traditional pose with the legs extended, but if this does not suit your body, find something that does. You can take a bolster or pillow under your knees. You can take a blanket and roll it up under your neck. Anything that makes your body happy, or any variation.